It all started at a wildlife sanctuary deep in Rwanda. Among the animals, there was a gorilla named Koko. She was quiet, distant, and always alone. Most of the staff said she had never recovered from losing her family to poachers. No one could get close to her. Then came Maya. She was 17, a young volunteer spending her summer at the sanctuary. She didn't have much experience, but from the moment she saw Koko, something changed. Maya felt drawn to her, like there was a story behind those silent eyes that no one else could hear. Every day, Maya sat near Koko's enclosure. She'd talk softly, read from her notebook, or just sit in silence. At first, Koko ignored her. Days passed with no response. But Maya didn't stop coming. She brought fruit, mimicked Koko's movements, and stayed patient. Then one morning, something happened. Maya held out a banana. Koko looked at her, slowly walked over, and gently took it from her hand. No noise, no sudden movement, just quiet understanding. After that, everything began to change. Koko started sitting closer. She watched Maya draw shapes in the dirt and sometimes trace them herself. Maya laughed once, and Koko beat her chest softly in response. It became their game. Maya started learning simple gorilla sign language. One day, she signed the word for friend. Koko looked at her for a long time and signed it back. That moment said everything. In the middle of the forest, a girl and a gorilla had found each other, not with words, but with trust. And as the summer days began to run out, both of them felt the weight of something neither of them knew how to say: goodbye. Maya's departure was sudden. One moment, she was there, laughing with Koko, drawing together in the dirt, and the next, she was packing her things, preparing to leave for college. The sanctuary staff didn't think Koko would understand, but Maya knew better. Koko had grown too attached, and deep down, Maya could sense the impending heartbreak. On her last day, Maya knelt beside Koko's enclosure, looking into her eyes, trying to hold back tears. "I'll be back soon," she promised softly, brushing a hand against the bars. Koko's eyes followed her, the usual curiosity replaced by something more intense, more urgent. She reached out a hand as if to touch Maya's face, but before they could say more, Maya had to walk away. Days turned into weeks, and Maya wasn't there. At first, Koko seemed to adjust. She ate, played with the other gorillas, and carried on with her usual routine. But soon, the change became obvious. She started sitting in the same spot, staring at the entrance gate for hours, waiting. She wouldn't play. She wouldn't eat much. The caretakers noticed her unease, her longing. She began calling out, low and mournful, whenever someone would pass by the gate. It wasn't the usual gorilla call. It was something softer, something filled with emotion. Maya's absence was clearly felt by Koko. There was no denying it. The staff tried to comfort her with extra attention, food, and play, but nothing seemed to lift the sadness from her. She would sit near the gate, day after day, and cry out, as if asking for the one person who made her world brighter. And still, Maya didn't come. It became clear to everyone around that Koko wasn't just grieving for a caretaker. She was grieving for a friend. The bond they shared wasn't just a passing connection. It was a deep emotional attachment. Koko had been waiting for something that no one could understand at first. But the more the staff observed, the more they realized. Koko wasn't giving up. She was holding on to hope, hoping that the person she cared for would walk through that gate again. Months passed, and just when it seemed like Koko's sadness would never end, something changed. Maya had kept her promise to return. She had been busy with her studies, but she knew she couldn't stay away any longer. The day she arrived at the sanctuary, her heart raced with anticipation and fear. What if Koko didn't remember her? What if the bond they had shared was lost in the time apart? As Maya drove up to the sanctuary, she could see the familiar sight of the gorilla enclosures in the distance. Her pulse quickened, but she took a deep breath and stepped out of the car. The staff had told her that Koko had been waiting by the gate for days now, and Maya couldn't help but wonder if Koko would even recognize her. Maya walked slowly toward the enclosure, her eyes scanning for Koko. And then, she saw her. Koko was standing at the far end of the fence, just like she had been when Maya left. But this time, something was different. There was a spark in Koko's eyes, a glimmer of recognition. Her posture straightened and she made a soft sound. Then, to Maya's shock, Koko started moving toward her, slowly at first and then faster. Maya's heart skipped a beat as she watched Koko break into a run. It was the first time in months that the gorilla had moved with such urgency. As Koko reached the fence, she stopped, standing still, her hands reaching through the bars as if she was trying to get closer. Maya knelt down, extending her hand, and that's when it happened. Koko reached out, placing her hand gently over Maya's. The touch was soft, but the emotions it conveyed were undeniable. Koko let out a low, soft cry, not of sadness, but of joy. Maya was back, and for the first time in months, Koko wasn't alone. She had found the one person who made her world complete. Maya's tears started to fall as she gently rubbed Koko's hand, whispering softly, "I'm here, Koko. I'm here." The reunion was nothing short of magical. It was as if the years of separation had melted away in an instant. The bond between them hadn't faded. If anything, it had grown stronger. Koko wasn't just welcoming Maya back. She was showing her how much she had missed her. As Maya stood there, holding Koko's hand, she realized something profound. Love is timeless. It doesn't matter how much time passes or how far apart you are. True connections never fade. And in that moment, Koko and Maya had proven that no distance, no matter how great, could break the bond they shared. Experts at the sanctuary, who had been observing Koko for years, were amazed by the depth of the connection between Maya and the gorilla. They had seen animals bond with humans before, but this was different. Koko wasn't just attached to Maya out of routine or because of the care she received. It was a genuine emotional bond, something that mirrored the way humans form deep, lasting friendships. Dr. Angela, the sanctuary's head researcher, explained that gorillas, like many great apes, are capable of complex emotional experiences. We often think of gorillas as distant, as creatures with raw strength and little emotional depth. But that couldn't be further from the truth. They're incredibly intelligent and sensitive beings, capable of forming bonds just as deep as any human relationship. The staff had seen Koko's moods change in the months Maya was gone. It wasn't just sadness, it was longing. Koko had been waiting for something, someone, and when Maya returned, it was as though everything clicked back into place. It was like Koko had been holding onto a thread of hope, Dr. Angela continued. She recognized Maya not just as a caregiver, but as a friend, a true companion. She was grieving her loss, but she never stopped waiting for her to come back. Koko's behavior was a testament to the emotional intelligence of gorillas. The staff had spent years studying her and other gorillas, but this bond was unique. Maya wasn't just the person who fed her or played with her. She was the one Koko trusted, the one who had broken through the walls Koko had built around her heart. Watching this reunion unfold, the staff couldn't help but reflect on the power of connection. It wasn't just about providing for an animal's physical needs. It was about seeing them as individuals with feelings, with personalities, with emotions. In that moment, they realized that true connections weren't about the species that separated them. They were about something much deeper: love, trust, and the desire to be understood. Maya's return wasn't just a reunion for her and Koko. It was a reminder to everyone around them of the incredible emotional capacities animals possess. The sanctuary staff had always known that animals could feel, but seeing Koko's reaction to Maya's return was a vivid example of just how much they can feel and how deeply they can love. As the days passed and Maya spent more time with Koko, it became clear that their bond was unbreakable. Koko no longer sat by the gate, waiting for something that would never come. She was content, knowing that the one person who had truly seen her, understood her, and loved her was there, by her side once again. The bond between Maya and Koko became a symbol of the incredible emotional depth animals are capable of. It wasn't just the sanctuary staff that noticed it. Visitors who came to see the gorillas were also struck by the connection between the two. People from all over the world, from animal lovers to casual tourists, witnessed something extraordinary. Koko's trust in Maya and Maya's unwavering care left an impact on everyone who saw it. What made their bond so special was that it wasn't just about the joyful moments. It was about the understanding, the patience, and the quiet ways in which they communicated. They didn't need to speak. Their actions, their eyes, and the way they shared their space spoke volumes. It was the unspoken connection that had taken years to build, and a single moment to rekindle. In the weeks following Maya's return, the two spent hours together. They didn't just play, they shared quiet moments, sitting side by side, simply being present with each other. Maya would often sit on the ground near Koko's enclosure, talking softly to her, stroking her hand through the bars. And Koko, who had once been so distant, would sit beside her, content, calm. It was as if all the pain, all the waiting, had finally been worth it. For Maya, those moments were priceless. She had learned so much from Koko about patience, trust, and the beauty of forming a deep connection with another being, no matter the differences between them. And for Koko, Maya's return meant more than just a human reappearing in her life. It was the return of the one person who had broken through her emotional walls, who had given her something she never expected: true companionship. And in that silent bond, the world got a glimpse of something pure, something profound. Love transcended species. It wasn't about human or gorilla, but about the deep, unbreakable ties that form when two beings truly care for one another. Koko and Maya's story became a reminder to all who witnessed it that love isn't bound by boundaries. It's universal, timeless, and unconditional. And as for Koko and Maya, they would continue to show the world just how powerful and meaningful the simplest, purest forms of connection can be. No words were needed. The connection they shared spoke for itself.